terrible sleep last night. This is the second time in a row. I feel like it's gonna be like this before every one of these, where I'm just gonna have horrible sleep. Literally went to bed on time, did my pre-bed supplements, the whole deal. I probably woke up like 5 times just with dreams of turmoil. So I woke up a little bit of a bad mood. A little shout out to my wife. She's gonna be embarrassed, but real proud of her. She started a Bible study, and it's totally out of character for her. Super proud of her. So last night I had the kids at my mom's house, that way that they wouldn't bother her and stuff. But anyway, crappy sleep. So what I thought I would talk about before we get to the studio was the ways that I can fool myself, because that's been really on my mind. I've been thinking a lot about, like, because a lot of the things that I do aren't necessarily bad, but it's where it comes from, the root or the heart posture around it, right? So I thought I would talk about all the stuff that like everything that I take and how I fool myself with all that stuff. And it's easy for me to fool myself because, well, I work in the space. I have a media company, podcasts. I work with all these companies. So there's even more of, I guess, motivation. And so I'm on hormone replacement therapy. I've been on that for a while. Now that was necessary. I got my testosterone checked a few years ago, and it was really low. And it probably due to the fact that I abused anabolic steroids in my 20s. And so I think that played a role. I've seen some studies saying that if you do that in your youth, you're likely to have some issues once you get to your 40s, which is kind of what happened to me. So it's like, again, it's legit, right? I needed it, but opened Pandora's box with me, right? So I take testosterone, and then going down the quote unquote hormone optimization route, that leads to, well, I'm 46, let's optimize growth hormone, and then let's optimize thyroid. So I'm optimized on all those things, but really what I do is I push the limits. I go as far as they'll allow me to go. And I get blood work and all that stuff. Again, this is how I can fool myself, right? Healthy, blood work looks good, but the heart posture around it is not for health. The heart posture around it is for seeing how far I can go. Really what it is, this is what's interesting, is when I was a kid, a lot of this was rooted in body dysmorphia, but it's not that anymore, which is interesting. It's not really body dysmorphia anymore. It's really about feeling capable and not wanting to depend on anybody or anything. This is why one of the things about becoming a Christian that has been something I've wrestled with, because when you follow Jesus, you start to realize that you depend on him. You need to all the time. I remember one of the first things I read in the Bible was the story of manna for the Jews in the desert. And he told them, he was giving them food every day, but he said, you can't store any of it. You can't save any of it. If you save it, it'll go bad, except for when the next day was Sabbath. Then you can save enough for the one day. But if it goes beyond that, it will be filled with maggots. And he's essentially showing you need to depend on me every day. So don't store this all up. It'll just go bad. And there's this humbleness that you wrestle with when you become a Christian. So anyway, I was like, this is like part of my identity. Is like, I can do anything. Nothing will stop me. Bring it on. And it's brought me a lot of like worldly success and things, which only reinforces it. But really it's not good. It's just that complete self-reliance. And so everything I do, now when it comes to stuff like hormone therapy is to feel capable. So anyway, I push it. I push the limits with that. At times I'll use nandrolone prescription for my joints. By the way, all these things have benefits. And again, I get my blood work done and it's all whatever, but that's the root of it isn't right. Peptides are the other thing. Peptides have great applications. I mean, they're I think great medical interventions for lots of different reasons. Better than pharmaceuticals in many cases. But that's not my heart posture on peptides. With peptides, it's also, let's see what I can get away with, what I can push. So peptide wise, and then to make it even more ridiculous or silly, I have access to all the peptides because of our partners. So they send me whatever I want. It's like an alcoholic getting free drinks all the time. Hey, you guys, I really appreciate you watching this series. It's been the craziest, most wild ride ever. Now it's being made possible. We got people like Dylan behind the camera, people editing, people working here. We got to pay them. And I got to thank our sponsors who make this possible. Bioptimizers, Dose, Ketone IQ. Please, if you're into those products, if you want to optimize your mind, you want to help break down the food you eat, or you want to get your liver supported, check out those products. It'll just support us and encourage us to do more stuff like this. Appreciate it. What am I taking peptide-wise? GHKCU, right? This is all right now. MOTS-C, C-Max, what else? BPC 157 and thymosin beta. I think that's it. And that's every day. And then, and I've gone through, I've taken all, I've taken SS31, I've taken testosterone, hypomerolin, I've taken IGF-1 LR3. So I've done, any of them that seem interesting to me. So, but those are the ones I'm taking right now. Supplement-wise, it's even worse. I have, and if you listen to the podcast, and it's actually quite embarrassing, but I have a bag of supplements that I walk around with. Like, it goes with me to work and it goes with me home. And recently, my wife, relatively recently, she bought me a bigger bag, hoping I would put like my meals in there and all that stuff. And what's happened is it's just become more supplements. Again, it's all at this like, I could fool myself. Oh, I'm healthy, I'm optimizing performance. This is for that and this, that, and the other, and recovery and longevity and whatever. Again, I get checked by the doctor. Everything looks good, Sal, And I gotta say, this is just, just another huge blessing. Like, God has been so gentle with me. He could very easily, hit me with an illness or allow me to really hurt myself with all these things. And that would teach me probably pretty quick. And and instead he's gentle. He's gentle. And I would say it's because I'm smart about it. So like, oh, I've been good because I'm smart about it. That's not why. It's because he's merciful and he's protecting my family from my stupid mistakes. So anyway, so I got this massive supplement bag and I'll show you guys later. I won't go through everything. You know why I won't go through everything? People always ask me, go through your supplements. It's not because it's embarrassing. That's definitely a deterrent, but that's not why. It's because I know that there's a kid like me who's gonna watch, who's gonna be like, cool, I'm gonna do all that too. And so I don't wanna encourage any of that. But I'll open it, you'll see. It's a big ass supplement. It's really stupid. Yeah, and then supplement-wise, like I said, I'll do nootropics, nicotine lozenges, every nootropic you could think of. I've tried every natural muscle builder, every stimulant. Recently, had a bit of a, God bless my wife. She's, one of the gifts that she has is that she can really show grace. The other night we were going to bed, and in the past I've used Kratom. Kratom is a natural opiate-like herb. It's got addictive properties. It's gotten news in the past because people will take insane amounts and get hurt and stuff. I've never even come close to that, so there's no worry of that. Nonetheless, I've used it in the past for prolonged periods of time. And then I stopped. And then we had a loss in the family, and just weak, when you go into, stressed or whatever, just, again, I felt like I needed to be more capable for my family. Something like Kratom will make me feel more capable because it puts me in a better mood, gives me energy and all this other stuff. So we had a loss in the family. I started using Kratom again, and my wife didn't know. And the other night she asked me point blank, like, we're in bed, and she looks right at me and she goes, "Are you using Kratom again?" And I lied right to her face, like just lied to her face, and went to bed. And now in the past, just be honest, straight up, like, if I felt like it wasn't a big deal, then that kind of a lie it'd be fine. If it's not something, whatever, terrible, like, what's the big deal? That's how I would say it. So I guess I'd be able to live with that, right? Well, anyway, I lied straight to her face, and I just immediately repented, and I prayed, and I was just like, what am I doing, man? And I went to bed and just felt, God was convicting me, like, terrible. I could just feel it inside of me. I was like, oh my God, I gotta tell her the truth. And so I woke up in the morning and, go to the bathroom, and I'm in there, and I'm like, she's gonna blow up, because now I'm gonna tell her, hey, I lied to you, like, straight to your face, which understandably could lead to like, well, what else are you lying about? And I can't trust you and all that other stuff. And so I'm like, this is gonna go terrible. But so I prayed, woke her up, sat next to her in bed. I said, I gotta tell you the truth. I said I had been using Kratom, and she immediately gave me grace, which just, I gotta say that, like, when there are people in your life that are struggling or feel ashamed, oftentimes showing grace will help them the most, not the condemnation or the, hammering them with shame or whatever. She showed me grace, even though I lied right to her face. So it was really hard, but really, really helpful. But anyway, so that's the struggles. That's the deal. It's my heart posture. Why do I do all this? Yeah, my blood works healthy, optimized performance, all this other stuff. I'm lying to myself. Again, these things aren't bad on their own, but just like exercise isn't bad on its own. But if you're I've said this on the podcast, if you work out because you hate yourself, well, then that becomes a bad relationship. I've said that before, right? So I have a bad relationship with all this stuff. And so that's the wrestling. I don't know what that looks like on the other end. All right, we're gonna go in the studio and work out, and I have a workout today that's planned. That's another style of workout that I tend to enjoy doing. So let's go do it.